Hi, some of you know me through my work. I do strategy development for some of your companies. That's not what I want to talk about tonight, though. I want to talk about becoming a foster parent in Oklahoma, which is something I did as a never married 38-year-old woman with no biological kids of my own. So why become a foster parent? Because the issues that contribute towards kids becoming foster children are huge. Lots of people incarcerated, drug issues, lots of big issues that take long-term solutions. Becoming a good foster parent is a short-term solution. First thing you need to know is be yourself. You don't have to be married, you don't have to be straight, you don't have to be Christian, and you don't have to be young. You just have to be healthy emotionally and physically, and you can be a foster parent. These pictures, the one on the left or your right, is me and two of my kids at Christmas a couple years ago. The one right here is a double daddy birthday party. Lots of foster kids at that party, and I was one of the few women. It was pretty interesting. The next thing you want to know is expect some shock and awe, because there's a stigma attached to being a foster parent. People expect you to be like the Whoopi Goldberg character there in Law and Order, and you get a lot of, why would you foster parent? You get a lot of, why would you want to be a foster parent? You also get a lot of this in the grocery store line, especially if your kids don't look like you. My kids are black, and so I get a lot of, wow, you've had a little too much fun, haven't you? Yeah, so get ready. The other thing that you can expect is you make a really small investment, you get a big return on that investment. Just a birthday cake, not even a party. Sitting down to do homework with kids is something that most of these kids have not done before, and you get tremendous return on that investment. Your kids will progress academically, physically, and emotionally. My kids grew about 2 feet in the first 6 months they lived with me. So expect that. It's really, really fun to watch. The next thing that you want to think about is that the Department of Human Services is everything you've heard and worse. Good people working in a terrible system. You have to be the advocate for the kid because DHS is likely not going to be. And learn to budget because you get about 60% from DHS of what it actually takes to raise a child in Oklahoma. You have to get a letter from your therapist to explain to them that you really are emotionally healthy. I had to do that. Be prepared for long waits and then kids being dropped at your doorstep. And finally, pick your battles. You got to be assertive. Your world will become a lot less black and white when you become a foster parent. I'm going to let you read this and let that sink in for a minute. Can everybody see that? As a resource parent, not a foster parent, we're called resource parents now, you're also expected to mentor the biological parents of these kids. So you're actually helping them to become better parents, which is really, really difficult when you realize what they've done to these kids. And it's brutal, it's terrible. I'm not going to tell you anything otherwise. Make sure you have your resources in order. There are books and websites and resource groups. Make sure you know about those before you get started. Find babysitters. Make sure your family and friends are on board if possible. Cultural resources, for goodness sake. If you have hair like this and you're going to get black children, find somebody who can do their hair. Because 2 years later, I'm still having trouble. Make sure you find a doctor who takes Medicaid or Sooner Care or whatever it's called in your area. Love is not enough. If you're a successful parent of your own biological children, that's wonderful, but foster parents are different. Foster children. They've been traumatized. They don't accept love like your kids do, and it is different. You've got to give them a lot of boundaries, a lot of consistency, compassion, and love. When they start to feel safe and secure, then they will start accepting your love and giving it, and it takes a really long time. And, oh, this is a posed photo, by the way. Get ready to learn a lot about yourself. Believe it or not, the day that your 8-year-old calls you a mean white bitch in your own home can be one of the better days in your young, overachieving life. Okay, get ready to have some fun. My kids, I took them to the beach, a silly little Texas beach town last summer, and my now 11-year-old said, Shelley, I thought oceans were pretend. Okay, so these are some photos of my kids and other kids. Finally, be prepared to give them back. About 70+% of foster kids go back to their parents. That's what's supposed to happen. Even if they don't go back to parents, they'll go back to their family members, grandparents, aunts, etc. But they might live with you for years before that happens. And it's heartbreaking. I'm not going to tell you anything different. But when you give them back, you know that they're much better off than they were when they came to you, and the world is better off because of it. Thank you.